everybody, welcome again. My name is Larissa Lopes and you're watching Things I Wish I'd Learned in School. Today's topic is about friends. How to be liked, how to make people like you and how to actually make friends and make real relationships. I want to start this video saying that though it's a human need to connect and to be social, we shouldn't be begging people to like us. We shouldn't be learning ways to make people like us. I think that's not the way at all. Because what we want is not to be liked. What we want is to connect, is to make connections. Especially nowadays with the internet and this social media revolution. There's a lot of people who has a lot of friends, has a lot of followers, but feel alone. In the end, they have nobody to count on. Just because you're social and that you talk to a lot of people doesn't mean that you have friends, and especially that you feel like you feel that thing that you're searching for. I really believe that being sociable is overrated. I think being alone is not only very important, but sometimes is better. Sometimes it's better to be alone than to be in a group that you don't belong to, and that with people that don't understand you and don't accept you for what you are, and you have to betray yourself in order to be with them. So my first tip for you today is to be authentic, to be yourself. Remember the first video, how to be yourself? If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna put it in the link in the description. But what I say in that video is that you have to show people who you are. People can't just look at you and see. So in these situations where you have to be social, you need to show people who you are, and you're only gonna be able to do that if you have been practicing in other situations. So that's the video, the how to be yourself video. So let's assume you've already watched that video, and now the next step is to actually express yourself, to show yourself to people. I know it's hard to get to a place and introduce yourself and to actually talk to someone you never met before, but what we normally don't realize is that that person has the same fear that you have. You two are probably thinking the same thing, like, I feel lonely here and I don't want to be alone, but I don't have the courage to go talk to the other person. So every time that you have this fear of actually talking to someone, remember that that person is probably thinking the same thing, and that person is gonna be very grateful if you take the first step. So don't be afraid to talk to people. I know this is something very hard for some of us to do. I'm an introvert myself, so this is something very hard for me to do. But just remember that the person in front of you is probably as afraid to talk to you as you are afraid to talk to them. In the end, we are all just humans, and we are feeling the same stuff. We just don't let other people know, which is wrong. But anyway, if you are in this situation, like struggling to have the courage to introduce yourself, just remember that. Remember that the person in front of you is probably having the same fear to go talk to you. So you should go take the first step. You're not losing anything. And if that person that doesn't respond well, if they are rude to you, or I don't know, if they react in an unexpected way, there's a lot of cool people in the world. You don't need that person to like you or to become your friend. Just go talk to the next person. Don't even bother, justifying to yourself why they treat you like this. They probably have their own problems. Remember the emotional intelligence that we talked last week? So use that. Don't take things personally, and just go talk to the next person. As I said, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of cool people in the world, and if you are in a party, for example, I'm sure if you keep talking to people, you're gonna eventually find a good one. Another great icebreaker and And also something that it helps you to build a real relationship, a real friendship later, is to add value to their lives. You know, if you are in any situation, and if you help someone, if you do something nice to someone, they are probably gonna thank you, and from that little conversation you can keep up, you know, and continue talking. So if you are very very shy and you don't know how to approach someone, you can compliment them on something, and or offer them something, or help them somehow, you know, or ask for help. It works sometimes too, like, you know, ask what time is it, ask how to get somewhere, anything. If you add value to someone's life, if you compliment them, if you do something nice for them, they are gonna like you automatically. So you just have to keep the conversation going from there. And if you really have something in common, maybe there you can build a real connection from there. But if still you have no courage to take this first step, I have another suggestion for you. Use your talents and your personality and your interests, you know, the things you like, as a flag. You know, the more you are yourself in front of people, the more people can recognize you for what you are. And if they recognize themselves in you in some way, you know, if you have something in common, that person is gonna want to go talk to you. So the more you are yourself, the more you express yourself and the things you like, and the more you put into practice all these things that you are and express your personality, and use it as a flag, you know, use all these things you like as a flag, the more you're gonna attract people that think like you and that like the same stuff as you. And that's pretty cool. You don't have to take the first step, you just have to be yourself and show people who you are. And if they recognize themselves in you, they are probably gonna talk to you. This works in relationships too, you know, it's not only for friendship. If you want to have a good relationship, if you want to find a boyfriend and a girlfriend that really match, you have to attract each other. You can't chase each other. That's how attraction really works. You know, attraction is not to look at someone and feel like physically attracted to that person. That doesn't last. What you need to find is something deeper, and you can only find this deeper connection if you express yourself, if you are being yourself out loud, you know, in the world, and showing people who you are. The more you show people who you are, the more people you're going to attract that accepts you for what you are. You don't have to betray yourself, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to make any effort to be liked. You just have to be yourself, and that's enough. That's how you're gonna attract real belonging, real connections, and real friendships and real love into your life. But another thing I want to discuss in this video is that, as I said, I think being sociable is overrated, and sometimes it's better to be alone. You know, in some situations, you're not gaining anything from trying to be liked by other people and to fit in, because you need the good environment in order to grow, in order to be able to become the best version of yourself or better version of yourself. You need the right environment, and the more you force yourself to be part of groups that you don't feel like you belong to, the more damage you're doing to yourself. If the environment doesn't contribute to your growth, if you're not taking anything from it, if it's the opposite, they are taking your energy away, you know, they are taking your motivation, they are making fun of the things that you like, and that's not the right environment for you. I'm gonna make a video about environment and how important this is later. What I need you to keep in mind right now is that you don't need friends that don't add anything to your life. If the people around you don't make you feel good about yourself, don't help you to become someone better, you're better without them. I'm serious. Don't be afraid to be alone. Don't be afraid to be a social. Don't be afraid to be an introvert. If you take this time and invest in yourself and start doing the things that you really enjoy, that are really good for you, you're gonna sooner or later find people that like the same stuff, and that's what you want. You want to find the right group for you. You don't want to fit in any group. You want to be in the right group and with people who make you feel like you belong. That's what you want, real connections. It's okay not to have any friends. It's okay to eat alone. I do it. I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm great. I'm better than ever. I can only grow and I can only become what I want to become if I don't have this noise, if you keep having this background noise in your life, you're delaying yourself. You're putting obstacles in front of you, and it's gonna be harder for you to achieve what you want and to reach your true potential and to even meet people who really like you, for what you are. Because the more time you spend making people trying to like you, trying to fit in a group that you don't belong, the less you're gonna practice being yourself, the less you're gonna show yourself to the world, and the less people who really understand you you're gonna attract to your life. Even if you have to be alone for a whole year, for 2 years. I am in this situation for like 4 years now, but it doesn't matter. I don't mind, because I know that now I'm connecting with the people who really truly understands me, and that's awesome. That's see how happy I am just thinking about it. I was so lonely my whole life until I met other writers, until I met other artists, people who have the same desire, the same need to create. And when we talk about inspiration and all these things that artists do, I feel at home. I feel like they truly understand me in a way that nobody ever understood me before. So the more you are yourself and the more you raise these flags, with the things that you like and who you really are, the more people are going to see these flags and are going to come to you. You're gonna attract all of them into your life. So if you don't have friends, if you have to eat alone, if you think that nobody likes you, nobody understands you, that you're weird, that you're a freak, I understand you. I get you. Don't worry, everything is gonna be alright. The only thing you have to do is to follow your interests, do the things that you like, and that's where you're gonna find the right group for you. You just have to keep being yourself and showing yourself to the world. I promise you, everything is gonna be alright. So thank you very much for watching. This video was a suggestion, so if you have another one for me, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll keep doing my best to share with you all the things I wish I'd learned in school. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you next week.